Well, good morning, everybody. I'm John Musser with Stephenson Service Company. I have been on the IFCA board for the last 8 years, just retired last year, but been working with the nitrogen rate trials over the last 8 years. I've been on the board and here in Northern Illinois working with Stephenson Service Company, and through that process here at Highland, we've got one plot here and we've got a couple more in the area up here. So as we move forward with nitrogen as a tool and toolbox, the nitrogen rate trials that we've been working with here along the way have been an integrated part of that process. The IFCA that I was a board member of here and just retired, like I said, has been working with this for 8 years, and one of our goals and one of the processes with IFCA is to be a participant in the process of instigating and trying to gather this information. We've got money that's set aside through the fertilizer tax that was appropriated in 2012 so that we can put these trials on, represent the people and the farmers and their process along the way. So IFCA's role in this is to basically instigate and move this thing forward so it stays current in the process as far as what we're doing with nitrogen and how it works on the farm. So in each trial and each setup along the way, there's roughly 33 plots somewhere in that neighborhood in the state of Illinois for 2020. I believe there's 3 in Northern Illinois. We'd love to have some more going down the road, but in each plot the representation goes in 5, 6 increments. We go to 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, and 250 pounds of actual N applied. In this plot we use liquid nitrogen, but we've also used ammonia and the other sources, and then they're replicated 3 times. Those replications ensure that we get some and a very good representation across the board through that plot and through the process of gathering information, so it's just not a individual saying that 50 pounds did good or 100 pounds did bad or 250 pounds is a given rate. So the replication is the key to each one of these plots within the plot, and then they're sent in and the yield data is collected along the way, and Emerson Nosfinger from the U of I puts that data together. It takes him about a year to gather that information. He takes the center out of each plot, and that plot information is then put into, on an annual basis, into the MRTN or the plot work that's done with him along the way. MRTN, the maximum return to nitrogen, work's being done in the plot through this process of a given rate of N from 0, like I said, to 250 pounds. That 250 pounds or that 0 rate plugged in there, and those numbers are calculated into what we'll call the maximum return to nitrogen. So the maximum return to nitrogen calculator basically takes the cost of nitrogen in any form, compares it to the price of corn, and then gives you a range of nitrogen in which to apply for a maximum return to nitrogen within $1 on either side. And as you see nitrogen go up or corn price go up, you see a variation from year to year, but generally we sit in a range that's very comparable to what our growers are doing here in Northern Illinois and other parts of the state. More plot data, better applications, better knowledge along the way. So as we continue to grow the maximum return to nitrogen information that's done at the Highland plots and other places along the way in the state, we continue to gather that information, and it's current, which is a good part about the information that comes out of these plots, is that Emerson's putting that back in on a current basis so that when you do your calculations as a grower, as a farmer, as a retailer, that at the end of the day that rate is within 5 years, if not earlier than that, depending on the data that's collected at the end of the day. So that piece of the maximum return to nitrogen information is not old data. It's current data, and that current data is critical to what we're doing today and other things that will do to nutrient loss strategy and those things that are out there today as far as following something that has current history to it versus using old data. You can go on the website and just type in maximum return to nitrogen and the calculator will show up there. I don't know the website by heart here, but if you just type in maximum return to nitrogen, that calculator will pop up. You can plug in your own numbers. That process will let you do anything you want to do and put in any form, any price, and it'll spit out corn soybean rotations or corn on corn rotations at the end of the day, and that'll allow you to calculate out where your maximum return to nitrogen is. as we've done it at Stephenson and other places along the way, we look at that and try to calculate those end rates out. And I have to say that 99.9% of growers are following something pretty close to maximum return to nitrogen rates. Not everybody's using the calculator, but the calculator gives you a good guideline in order to make that work. The IFCA is a bunch of retailers put together an organization that basically looks out for the ag retailer and the farmer also. Some of the work that's being done right now is training on ammonia. We've had a few incidents in the state of Illinois, and those incidents need to be aware that farmers need trained on ammonia and that process along the way. We've been proactive in the retail side of it in Northern Illinois, but we need to be more aware, and some of the training that's coming down for farmers to ensure that safety is part of that deal. IFCA is involved with that, and our local retailers are involved in that also. But some more nitrogen plots would be great along the way. If we can have 4 or 5 of them in Northern Illinois, it'd be great. Just puts more data back into the system along the way and find out what and where Northern Illinois sits, because the state's really divided into 3 different areas: north, south, and of course the central part of the state. And we end up with some good information for us as we look at those things.